He barely clocked in for his first day, and some punks were already messing with his guy.
Excuse me. He needs to get back to work. The fuck out of here. It's not your business.
The thugs across from him had no idea what they were messing with. As the toughest guy on the site, there's no way he'd let his buddy get pushed around. He had just taken care of two punks when their backup showed up. Levin smashed open a bag with his axe, grabbed a handful of lime powder, and tossed it right at them while they were rubbing their eyes. He spun around and pulled a shotgun from a box. Seeing this, the thugs had no choice but to run for their lives. This badass move caught the eye of the only woman on the construction site.
Levin! Holy fuck! Can I say free? Look, my grandpa, he was a paratrooper. Told me how to break fingers, track animals.
Break fingers?
Her name was Jenny, the daughter of the site boss. Knowing he was all by himself, Jenny would often bring him food, and Levin had long since started treating her like his own daughter.
You didn't see anything, okay?
Snitches get stitches. Just get my back if I ever need it.
Sure, Jenny.
But one night, something terrible happened to Jenny. While she was out hanging with her girlfriends, she was targeted by some shady human traffickers. As Jenny was walking out of the restroom, a man dragged her into the back alley. Just like that, Jenny vanished. It wasn't until the next day that Levin heard the news.
Look at me, brother. I'm gonna bring it home. I promise.
Just to keep a promise, Levin was about to wipe out an entire gang. That night, he followed a bartender home from his shift. Levin just wanted to shake him down for a few leads, but the guy completely brushed him off. The very next second, Levin tossed him into the bathtub and directly gave him a taste of waterboarding.
Fuck you!
Suddenly, he heard some commotion outside the door. The bartender's crew had come looking for him. Levin had no choice but to use him as a human shield.
Open the door. Fucking kill you.
Levin never expected these guys to gun down one of their own. He stripped them of all their cash, staged the scene to look like a home invasion, and then laid low nearby. Sure enough, a luxury car pulled up shortly after. They came to collect their money, only to find a floor full of dead bodies. When they finally drove off, Levin tailed right behind them. It didn't take long before he ended up at a secluded mansion deep in the mountains. Levin scoped out the place from the outside, tracking everyone's movements. Once he was sure his target was alone, he kicked the door open and walked right in. A pot of hot coffee straight to the face and a solid left hook knocked the guy out cold. By the time he came to, Levin had him tied up out by the pool. The guy tried to talk tough and threatened Levin.
You know who I am. Should I?
But Levin couldn't care less about who he was. Right now, all he cared about was finding Jenny. However, when Levin flashed a photo of Jenny, the guy looked completely clueless.
I don't understand.
The bar you do your dirty business out of? A 19-year-old girl was kidnapped.
When the bar was mentioned, the guy's face twisted in panic, and he kept dropping a name, Dimmy.
Sukin syn, Dini. Я бросил тебя в озеро. Ты притащил этот кусок.
Okay, we're done.
It was pretty obvious. Dimi had his hands all over this. Afterward, Levin reached out to a buddy on the police force, who hooked him up with a solid lead on Dimi. Meanwhile, Dimi had no idea that all hell was about to break loose. Right when he was busy living it up, Levin had already tracked him down. He sneaked in like a ghost, silently taking out the perimeter guards. Caught completely off guard, his goons didn't even have a chance to fight back. Trying to save his own skin, Dimi grabbed his own girlfriend as a hostage.
Come closer and she dies. No! I figured that.
Levin wasn't buying that crap for a second. Then, Levin whipped out the photo of Jenny.
Where is she?
I do not know this woman.
You're a bad liar.
Why risk everything? Why kill everyone for her?
Because I told her I had her back.
By this time, the kidnappers had already sold Jenny off to some wealthy creep. The billionaire paid a fortune for the girl, then threw on a stethoscope like a total sicko, just soaking in the sound of her racing heartbeat. Just as the bodyguards outside were taking bets on how long the client would last this time, a bloody hand suddenly slammed against the glass.
She bit me! She's supposed to be asleep!
I'm so sorry, sir.
The billionaire was absolutely furious. He ordered the traffickers to string Jenny up to the rafters like a lamb to the slaughter. While the billionaire was creeping on her and figuring out what to do next, a massive explosion echoed from outside. It was Levin, and he was out for blood. He cleared the path with a frag grenade, blowing the front door guards sky high. He followed up by kicking the door wide open, M41 assault rifle in hand. With slick tactical movement, he mowed down every enemy that stood in his way. Just then, enemy backup swarmed the place. A biker crashed right through the window, with the rest of the crew right behind him. But as far as Levin was concerned, these guys were nothing but cannon fodder. Once the ammo ran dry, things got up close and personal. The top goon was an ex-paratrooper built like a tank, completely overpowering Levin with raw strength. However, using his agility and hardcore combat experience, Levin finally managed to gain the upper hand.
My fight wasn't with you.
I know, brother. Finish it.
Levin glanced down at his blood-soaked hands. He was never a fan of violence, but they gave him no other choice.
Sorry, brother.
That's when he heard Jenny screaming. Following the sound of her voice, Levin kicked open the final door.
How dare you come in here?
Realizing things were going south, the female kidnapper tried to make a run for it, but Jenny kicked her right back and put her in a vicious leg lock.
Fucking die, bitch!
The male kidnapper had it even worse. He didn't stand a chance against Levin's onslaught.
It's over now.
Once the room was completely cleared, Levin grabbed a sledgehammer, smashed the steel pipe, and shattered the chains holding Jenny. With both kidnappers taken out, this rescue mission had finally come to an end. Levin kept the promise he made to his buddy, bringing his daughter back home safe and sound, and breathing hope back into this family.
You said